typical fashion, welcome back to Door to Door Gaming. I am this episode's host. My name is Cameron, and I am joined by my three other co-hosts, Sarah, John, and Dalton.
Guten
Just want to say
Tag.
hi.
Yo.
Hello.
Okay, with that out of the way, let's see. We had our last hot topic discussion that we will be discussing now is install size for games. Is it too big? Could it be smaller? What do you guys think?
Yes.
The rent is too damn high.
The rent is too damn high. Yeah, no,
I
I,
think-
I completely agree with you guys.
I think the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is like the Call of Duty install size. That's like the big
Mhm.
one lately. but
Yeah,
there's a lot of
to
them.
be fair, they have like their own launcher in the game now, and there's
it
like
sucks,
7
and it's
games.
horrible.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's fucking trash.
So,
Sorry, I just had to throw that out there.
No, you're good. So like,
I mean, I get it.
what's
ahead,
the
John.
average install size now? It's like 70 to 80 gigs for a AAA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say you'd be hard pressed even on like non AAA games to find anything below 50.
Yeah.
If
I
it's
mean-
like an expansive game.
I mean, it would be okay. I mean, so like Sarah and I game mostly on PC, and we have terabytes available to us. So it's like it's not a super issue on the PC, but when you switch over to like consoles where they're still coming with like standard 500 to 1 terabyte hard drives, and then you have to
Yeah.
purchase the expansions. You know,
Well, on top of that, the
fucking
way
10
that the
games?
Xbox Series X works is you can't just have an external hard drive anymore because the connection is too slow. So you need to have an expansion card that is basically a memory card that plugs directly into the motherboard.
Yeah, it's like it essentially
Stupid.
uses a PCI type slot. Yeah, it's dumb. I found myself recently like looking purposefully for like smaller indie titles to like fill space on the Xbox and stuff like that. You know, all the Stardew Valley stuff like that. Sarah and I found one recently that was only a gigabyte that I think we're going to talk about later today called Dismantle. I talked to Cameron a little bit about it, but 10 games on a hard drive before it's like filled up is it might be okay for something like Dalton or Cameron, where like largely they're the only ones playing games in their house. But like I share an Xbox with like 7 people.
The amount of games that go through this house is ridiculous. We're
It's-
always deleting, removing, adding. It's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah. And we got really spoiled back in the day at the start of like digital only sales. Cuz like back when digital sales really started, it was still the 360 era where the PS3 was doing its own thing with the Blu-ray discs. But the vast majority of the games were on DVDs, so they were like limited to 8 gigs. And I'm in the middle of fiddle fucking with the server right now, setting up a bunch of emulation stuff on it. And up until the past like probably 5 or 6 years, the vast majority of games almost never went over 10 gigabytes. The rare exception were a couple of games on the PS3 that utilized large chunks of the Blu-ray technology that was implemented with that. And I mean, a couple of Xbox 360 games that ran over multiple DVDs. But past that, everything's like 8 gigs and below. And I don't know. I think a lot of it is like developers have been spoiled with like multi-terabyte hard drives and stuff like that we have now. And, a lot of times it's just junk data that they don't feel the need to compress. Or
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
yeah,
Because I
or
think
like-
I think the issue is like twofold. Like
Mhm.
compression and the price of the hardware, as far as like if you wanted to buy an expansion card or something like that, or if like a PlayStation just shipped with like a 2 terabyte hard drive or something like that, if there was an option where a 2 terabyte PS5 would still only cost $500, then that would be much more ideal, obviously. Like, storage isn't cheap enough to push out the
Mhm.
file sizes that they are requiring for their games, and
Right.
then the compression and the bloat that they have on a lot of games, because they're not
Mhm.
willing to just like shrink everything down in a way that would make sense, because it would take more time. I mean, it would
Right.
just take more development time, and I'm sure it would cause little like development issues with whether with like the code or bugs or
Mhm.
whatever. I'm sure there'd be more hoops they'd have to jump through, but it would the thing that sucks is we've kind of done it to ourselves, because we all still buy and download all the really huge
Yeah.
games. Like Call of
Yep.
Duty is one of the top selling games, and it is also one of the largest games.
Right. Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
and then it comes down to the point where, like, do you want your game to have these super high fidelity graphics that are, like, bordering on real life, or would you like to just play a video game, which is what you are really doing at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Cameron, you and I were kind of accidentally touching on this the other day at work when we were talking about Mirror's Edge, actually. Um, about how old that game is. I mean, I think people that have played it or know about it kind of forget that that game is really fucking old at this point. But if you throw it in somebody's face, they'll probably just be. If you could throw it in a 10-year-old's face, and they'd probably be enamored by it because the art
To
style for.
clarify to clarify,
Go
you
ahead.
are talking about the first one, correct?
Yes, 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 yes.
Not
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, just making sure.
You could throw that in a young child's face that it would normally be like, bad grab. Okay, so take like the old Rainbow Six games, right? Which at the time they went for realism, right? If you threw that in a young person's face today, they'd be like, a lot of them would be like, bad graphics, don't want to play. But you take something like Mirror's Edge, which is only like 6 gigabytes. I was looking at it the other day, and you throw it in front of a young person's face, they go, "Ooh, it's pretty," and then they get enamored with the gameplay. But ooh, pretty. It's because they went for an art style instead of realism in those games, so they don't ever have to worry about like their game looking bad. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like like Dalton was talking about, a lot of the higher res textures and the bloat and stuff like that come from, we need better fidelity. We need better fidelity. We need better fidelity. You don't need better fidelity. You just need to be unique to be successful.
Yeah, I think fidelity also comes at the cost of like optimization too. Like,
Mhm.
there are a lot of games that look really, really, really good, but you also have to have like a $2,000 computer to run them at the level that they are developing it for.
Right.
So like when you play on a PlayStation, and PlayStation themselves, like Sony themselves, even falls into the same trap of being like, yeah, we can run 4K at 60 hertz, and it's like,
Why?
who cares if it looks like shit?
Yeah.
Like 4K can still look really bad if the hardware can't push it.
Right.
And
I
that's
So
want
it's
where,
like it's such a trap.
I
go
want to
ahead,
play
Sarah.
Call of Duty 6, but I literally cannot fit it on my computer. There's no
Yeah.
possible way that it would even remotely run it. And I don't
Yeah.
even want to try to play it on the Xbox.
Yeah. And it's huge, and it doesn't even look that crazy unless you watch the freaking campaign cutscenes. Like, it just looks
Mhm.
like another Call of Duty game.
Right.
But yeah, I know that's where Xbox is running into issues with some of the newer games. Is that the older console, like the Xbox One and Xbox One S, struggling to keep up, and the Series
Oh yeah.
X, the Series S, is also struggling to keep up. And it's like,
Mhm.
you guys backed yourself into a corner because you're like, yeah, no, we're gonna stretch these consoles lifespan as long as we can,
Oh
and
yeah.
games are like literally looking like dog water
Right.
on those
Yeah.
Right.
consoles.
Yeah, that, or they're just
So
not running super well. One of my best friends here, he has a, I want to say it's an Xbox One S. So it's like the smaller,
Yeah, that's what I have.
like slim version.
Mhm.
And or you could even talk about like PS4. I've got a friend that used to play Destiny 2 on a PS4, and it would run like below 30 FPS almost the whole time. And then we were in the same room. I'm playing it on my computer, he's playing it on his PlayStation, and I look up at his TV and I about threw up from like the motion sickness that it gave me just looking at the
Right.
screen
Yeah.
because it was so jagged and so unstable that you couldn't hardly make out what was going on. And then he got a PS5 and I was like, "Hey dude, you need to reinstall that game and play it because you're going to shit yourself."
Right.
Because a lot of like the previous generation of consoles, it's such a thing that they struggle. And complete side tangent, I'm pretty sure that the Xbox Series S, so like the slim version,
Yeah.
um it comes with like a 2 terabyte model.
Oh, it did not when I got it. So
Yeah,
that's
no, it didn't at first, but they made like a much larger hard drive version of it, and I'm like, who the fuck is downloading 2,000 gigs worth of like indie games because it's the only thing it can run?
well, I haven't had problems with the S running anything really. I mean, it runs it at 30 frames per
Yeah,
second, but
well,
I've
that's
also
what I mean is
I've
like,
also never been like I've never been an FPS. I don't want to say an FPS snob, but like
yeah,
I don't think there's a frame rate that has ever truly bugged me. There are obviously frame rates where I just won't play, but I was one of those psychopaths that like played Crisis when it came out on a very outdated computer. I beat Crisis 1 at 10 frames per second or some shit like that. I put a solid
that
15 hours into that game when I was like
that
10 years
sounds
old in my bedroom.
painful.
It was painful, but I
You
was
probably would have
dedicated.
saved yourself. You probably would have saved yourself 5 hours just if you were able to run it 20 FPS faster.
Well, you see, the problem is when you have, hey, Mom, I need a graphics card. No, well, you got to deal with what you got.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
But
I'm
Look,
not. I wouldn't say that I'm a snob about it, but like it is hard for me to revert back to
no, it's understandable. I
like
understand what you're saying. The
yeah, like
smoothness
me.
of high frame rates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mainly with console games because consoles a lot of them are locked. Like I'll play Fallout 4 before they released their next gen update, and it
Mhm.
was Fallout 4 at 30 FPS, and then I would get on my computer and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
never playing this on my PlayStation again.
Yeah. So a little bit of an example for something that I absolutely couldn't take when Cyberpunk came out. I bought it on launch day, and
Oof.
I refunded it because I played it on a launch day Xbox One. I had a
Oh
launch
my
day Xbox One
god.
all the way up until we got the S, 2 years into the current gen's life cycle.
yeah, that was your
Yeah.
first mistake was playing that on a next gen game on a last gen console. That was your first mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was actually, if I remember correctly, am I correct in saying that Cyberpunk is what like pushed me to finally get the S? I swear I forgot.
Cyberpunk was a ginormous mess on
Dude.
that's just whole.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was
That it
horrible.
doesn't help with that game that it also was just like that
A
had a really
disaster to
rough
begin with.
launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. Okay, so I played it on a Series X. I got the X because of Halo Infinite. Um, but that aside, I never ran into any of those crazy game breaking bugs that people were like throwing that game under the bus for. I
Oh,
beat the game and I was like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. This game is
once I
fantastic.
once I got the S, I had zero fucking problems with it.
Yeah, but prior to that, it was glitch after glitch, car floating into the air, person zipping off this
Oh, dude,
direction.
it
It
was
was a show.
yeah.
I never played it on launch. I actually
You're
think the
smart.
first time I played it was like a year and a half after it released.
Cameron and I
After it
have
took
talked
some
many
more.
times about how many times I have tried to get through Cyberpunk, and I've boiled it down to the launch disaster kind of killed the whole vibe of the whole game for me, which is a shame because Cameron will talk the game up left and right. Like, you get online, and it's one of those, it's almost like No Man's Sky at this point. It's had such a great turnaround, and we are so far from game sizes at this point, but I want to finish this. The launch was so disastrous that it killed my want to play the game. If that makes sense. Like it's almost like getting back into a toxic relationship with a toxic ex. right? You're like, oh yeah, no, it'll be fun. Then you get back in and you just immediately reminded of all the fucking reasons, and you're like,
You
yeah,
just gotta
I'm
sit
not
down and
into it
watch Edge
anymore.
Runners. You just gotta sit down and watch Edge Runners. Makes it
Maybe
so
if
much more
maybe if
better. It's like,
maybe
wow,
Edge
I want to be in
maybe if I
that
play it
universe.
while I watch Edge Runners, it might keep me
Hey, there you go.
engaged.
So if it makes you feel any better, John, the last time that I played Cyberpunk and I reinstalled it, I think like 2 months ago, was
Yeah.
October 22nd of 2024. And even though I waited that whole year and a half after the game had like ironed out a lot of its
Mhm.
issues, I still only have 2 hours in the game.
Yeah. I probably have somewhere between 40 and 50 hours in the game, but all of that time has never gone past probably the first 5 missions. This last time I
Right.
tried, I got the furthest.
Before we get
Have
off on too of a tangent,
Yeah.
uh, I set a game just to beat it. I got the worst ending possible, and I'm trying to get back into that game, just so I can get one of the better endings. Um, yeah. So
I think it's going to be one of those where like you know how some games have like the joke endings where like you start the game and then if you immediately make a wrong turn fucking oh shit. Near Automata or Near Automata. It has a bunch of joke endings, so I think I'm gonna have to treat Cyberpunk because I have to cross it off my list at some point. I think I'm gonna have to treat it like Near Automata, where I go into the menu, remove the OS chip, I die at the start of the game, and I get a end credit scene, be like, cool, I beat it. I got an ending, I'm happy.
so massive spoiler who hasn't played the game. There are multiple endings. The ending that I got is like one of the worst ones. And I was so enamored with just beating the game at that point in time that I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on. But my character sat down with a gun and a bottle of pills, and it was like, "Hey, you can either end Johnny Silver being in your head, or you can go out fighting." And I was like, "Oh yeah, the gun. The gun is the good choice." No, you just blow your brains out. Like I was like, "Well, that character's dead."
Yeah, it's fair,
So
man.
so the two options they gave you were overdose or shoot yourself?
For
Yeah.
that specific ending, yes.
That sounds so stupid.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but you said that the pills were to get Johnny out of your head. Was there some way that they were medication to remove the psychosis?
It it would've like, the way that he was entangled in your and psyche, the separation of that, from what I can remember, the separation of that would have basically just left you a vegetable.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, gun. Gun would have been better.
Gotcha.
but I was like, "Oh, no, gun means fight." So, like, I'm gonna go out fighting. No. No, that's not what that meant.
Well, also,
Alright.
if it worded it as "go out fighting," you would think that means you're not shooting yourself. You would be shooting other people. It's a very
Fair.
very
Yeah, yeah.
interesting
They misled
misuse
it.
of that phrase.
Right.
But
It's
okay.
like it's
So
like giving somebody a grenade and telling them to take the hero's way out. It's like,
it's like
like, but yeah, game sizes. Am I right?
yeah, now that we're back on topic.
Oh shit.
So yeah, indie games and, games that have lower fidelity graphics
Hmm.
are usually the ones that I can have, like, 20 to 30 games installed instead of
Oh
just,
yeah,
like, 3.
5
yeah.
or less. Yeah.
As
So
much as I like to think I stick to one game until I beat it, no, I'm a completely rational, normal gamer that jumps from game to game on a daily basis and goes,
Oh,
haven't played this
yeah.
in 3 weeks. I need to go back to it and beat it. And then
I
I'll go
didn't
do
even
a
think
mission.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that side of the
Yeah,
conversation is I'm like a serial installer, uninstaller
same.
choice
It
anxiety
drives
type.
it drives
It
her up
drives me
the
nuts because
wall,
I
dude.
am a person that will download a game. I want to finish that game. I
Yeah.
don't want any other game to interrupt
Which
my thought process on that
right.
game.
Which translates also to when I start a game, she would like to watch me finish it. It takes months of jumping between games
Yeah.
for me to finish a game.
Yeah, for me it's like I don't think I've finished a game probably the last game I finished was probably Skyrim
Okay.
and that was 2 years ago.
Last game I finished was probably The Last of Us Part 2, yes, and that was close to 2 years ago.
The last game I finished was the one that I'm talking about for this podcast.
It's last week. Cameron, tell us your sins. Oh wait, you platinum shit all the time. Never mind.
No,
Yeah,
I was
no,
gonna say,
Cameron's a
usually-
I was gonna say
serial.
Cameron's not the one to ask.
Cameron's a serial completionist. It's
I will install 15s and just go down the list and just beat them individually.
And then you get done with this, like uninstall all 15 games, find a new set.
uninstall these.
yeah. Oh, and
Yeah.
freaking honestly, game file sizes are the reason that I spent like $200 on the SSD that I have, because I have a 4 terabyte NVMe in my computer, because I will try to fit every single game in my Steam library on my computer every time.
The server out there has, and it's not just for games, it's for multimedia in general, but the server out there, you want to talk about fucking the ridiculous hard drive sizes or prices. Not SSDs, obviously, because it's a server. I use like server grade hard drives that are meant to be ran 24 hours, 365 for a decade. Two 12 terabyte server, like, what are they? Seagate Barracudas, which are meant to be in server racks. 12 terabytes, $350 each, refurbished. Fucking 600 new. See, I
Yeah.
got lucky.
So you're not gonna even get the full 10 years out of them.
Well, what happens is, sorry, dear listeners, you're about to get like a quick rundown of how Google works. Essentially, when Google has to replace hard drives in their server racks, they do it in bulk. So they replace 1,000 at a time for an entire rack series. And when they get that box of 1,000 in, they'll pick 10 random ones out of the box to test. And if one of them, they don't like the numbers, the whole shipment gets sent back. And because the whole shipment was technically opened, it cannot be sold as a new item. So a lot of those refurbished or used server, both of my drives that I had 80 hours on them and 2 system starts. So I have a program on my computers called Crystal Disk Info. That's for like Uber techies. And what it does is it goes in and it reads every stat that the hard drive keeps track of, which is like hours ran, number of times it spun up, number of times it spun down. The one that I got had 80 hours with 2 spin ups on it, which means that it had been in a system that had been turned on twice and ran for whatever combination of 80 hours. And the other one had 2 hours and one startup. So they're essentially brand new drives I got for half price. But still, the new price for those was almost $600 for 12.
Yeah, that's pretty
and this was 3 or 4 years ago. So hard drive storage sizes have jumped pretty seriously in the past 3 or 4 years since then. So those have come down to new at about $400, which is still fucking outrageous for 12 gigs. Now we have 20 gigabyte server rack style hard drives that are going for $1,000 a piece.
You mean terabyte?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. What did I say? Did I say gigabyte? 20 gigabyte?
Yeah, you said gigabyte.
Yeah, my bad.
So
yeah,
then
20 terabyte.
for a second I was like, $1,000?
Yeah. And then you want to get into SSDs. We have 5 terabyte SSDs now that are going for close to the same price. Yeah, storage is funky, dude.
I was actually wrong. I think I paid close to $350 for mine.
Okay. Yeah, and then you get into like Cameron was talking about with the essentially the memory cards. I know the PlayStation 5 uses an M.2 drive, I think. Does it not?
It does offer. PS5s are a little different than Xbox. They do offer external drive options, because I used to have an external hard drive.
All right. I know the
linked just through
internal, I
USB.
believe, it was an SSD at start, but I think they've switched over to M.2. I might be wrong on that. Don't
Yes,
hold me to it.
it's M.2, yeah.
M.2s are weirdly cheap for the technology. It's weirdly fucking cheap.
Can you just use any external drive, or does it have to be like a
Probably
certain?
at least USB 3.0 for sure.
USB 3, yeah.
Okay.
As long as the USB connection can support the speeds that you would need. I think the only thing is you can't install PS5 games on it. You can only install PS4 games on
So
it.
it's
Which
like
for
it's
me,
similar to the
that
Xbox.
worked fine.
But like when you get into the Xbox specifically, they have the memory slots on the back, which, like Cameron stated, it's essentially an M.dot that's plugging directly into the motherboard. So like you can get a 2 terabyte M.dot for, I don't know, $300 or $400, right? It's or for like two or $300. I could price it right
It's
now.
probably honestly, I think a 2 terabyte you could probably get somewhere in the realm of like 150.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But because you add the what is it, the black, Microsoft makes one, and then it's not Black Magic, but somebody else makes
WD
one.
Black.
Yes, Western Digital Black, yeah. Because they tack their name onto it, and because it's a specialized item made specifically for the Xbox, just double the price, just double the fucking price for absolutely no reason, and it's completely pointless because I watched a YouTube video a while back where somebody essentially bought a Western Digital Black plugin for the Xbox, took it apart to study it, found out that it's not a proprietary connection at all. It is just a PCI connection direct into a motherboard. So he took a PCI card, chopped it up, resoldered it to an M.dot, just a regular M.dot, flashed it with the same firmware that is on the Western Digital Black version, plugged it in, and it fucking worked. And it was like a 4 terabyte M.dot. It's completely fucking point. There's no proprietary technology that goes into that at all to justify the almost double price tag. It's dumb. Storage
Yeah.
prices are a whole thing, dude. It's stupid.
You got
Especially when you get into the disk or the writable versus the SSD side of things. 2 terabytes for an HDD is like $100. 2 terabytes on an SSD is like $200 or $300. It's stupid.
So, not that this has anything to do with that, and I don't want to go on a whole nother tangent.
I know you're good.
But you guys remember the show Storage Wars? Is that what we're gonna do here? But like with actual storage devices.
Oh
Yeah.
god, yes. I bid on this hard drive. Anybody want to guess what's on it?
uh,
All right.
Chances are you don't want to find out.
Ooh.
yeah, probably not.
God damn it.
But with all that out of the way, I do want to make one because I'm super stoked to talk about my game, but I don't want to go first. So I will let one of you guys talk before I dive into this whole. Yeah. So
Okay.
who wants to talk?
Oh, that was it.
about
I was
the
expecting you to like say something else about the topic. Okay.
No, he's
Uh,
like, somebody else start talking before I get too excited and just go for it.
I was waiting for everybody to tell everybody how they were doing. I don't think we had that discussion.
Oh. Good.
I'm
Nope,
not too bad.
How's the post office treating you?
Who you asking?
You.
Oh,
We all know how it's working for us.
I love my job at the post office. I am perfectly happy with everything that happens there, including but not limited to the passage of the new contract, which will do wonders for the craft employees that carry mail. My station takes care of me and I of it. I have no complaints with how well Uncle Sam and the federal government treat me and take care of me. I am treated fairly and justly. I look forward to the continued promises of privatization and look forward to tackling the life hurdles that could potentially throw at me. I love my fellow employees, and with the strength and all-knowing prowess of management, the executive branch, and Congress behind all of us, we will prosper. I am blinking twice.
yeah, I think
Five's finally at a point where it's I think it's right at about 8 hours almost every day. So
yeah.
I'm pretty close.
I mean,
to
from what
same.
you, yeah, from what you told me, from what they took off, that's I mean, that's, I feel like
I mean,
you've got it made a lot more than you did.
Yeah. over the entire special, there's a fucking what a fifth, somewhere between a quarter and a fifth of 5 has just disappeared. So
I
Yeah.
have all of downtown. City 8's downtown is now.
you need to get closer to the mic.
City 8's downtown is now on my route.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she has all of downtown. So
then what the heck is 8 then?
weird.
Or
It's weird.
That
oh, did it pick up
minus-
that stuff from? Did it pick up the stuff from 10 and then lose the other thing? Isn't that what was supposed to happen?
Yes, but Frankie didn't want to pick up anymore, so we modified it based on the request of the carriers and whatnot and what they were able to do time-wise. So
What the heck?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
I got fun news for what's happening on our front, though.
Oh,
Tomorrow, Cameron, Sarah, and I are going to Fan Expo in Cleveland to meet David Tennant from Doctor Who.
so excited.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Mm. Hell yeah.
I got
That'll
some,
be
And I'll
fun.
get to see Tom Welling again too.
Yeah, that's like the only purpose for going up there. Everything else is going to be filled in on the journey. So
I got the
Nice.
MTG over that they did with Doctor Who. I got a couple cards of David Tennant that I want to have him sign. So
hell yeah. So yeah.
Nice. I will be at work.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, I have a random question. We can leave this in or not leave this in, but I have two random questions. One, is my seniority just screwed? Is there any way that I can get the time back that I lost? Or am I like completely reset without any options?
I think you're completely reset. I think you're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Damn, that sucks. Okay, question number 2. Can you put a hold down while under probation?
I don't
No,
think you
You cannot.
can.
You have 90 days from when your start date is
Yeah.
before you can put another hold down on it.
But I think it's
Okay,
also at
'cause
local
that's-
management's discretion.
Yeah, because
If-
that's fucking stupid.
If you want to put one down on something in your 90 and management doesn't have a problem with it, cool. But if somebody that's not in probation comes along and contests it, don't be surprised if it gets thrown out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so our supervisor approved it, and then the union steward, who had nothing to do with the route that I put a hold on, complained about it.
Was somebody else looking to put a hold on it?
No.
Your union steward is just following the rules
To
just
follow the
following the
rules.
contract for the sake of following the contract. Then
That's
sounds like
lame.
it sounds like a pain in the ass situation, but it's actually sounds like a pretty good union steward if he did that like unprompted.
No, he's cool. It just like kind of shot me in the foot, which makes me mad.
Did he apologize to you? Be like, hey, I'm
No.
sorry. This is gonna be. Maybe he's not a good
He
union
pretty
steward. I don't fucking know.
like he was nice, but he was also like, no hard feelings, you're just in probation. And I was like, oh, cool. I've literally worked
I
here
mean,
already.
I get it. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd get it if it was your first 90 days, but you've been there before, so
Yeah.
I
I'll just
already
wait
it-
90
it's
days
not-
and just be like, hey, I want that hold down now.
Yeah, it's not like it's your first 90 at the post office. You worked there for like what, almost 2 years? Like
Yeah, I'm also literally the fastest carrier.
that's not good though. That's not good. Stop thinking that's good. That's not good.
Well, it should give me
Do you know
good
what fast
things.
carriers do? They end up in management.
Yeah, or they quit. Both
Or-
of which could easily be options.
That's yeah.
One of
Well,
them was already an option.
you quit and you came back, so
Yeah.
oh shit. But yeah. All right. Fun.
With all the technical work stuff ironed out, we ready to talk about some actual games?
Let's talk about some
I'll
games.
go.
Some
go first?
games.
I can talk about mine.
Okay.
Okay. I kind of let it slip earlier and I didn't even think about it until I said it. I played Skyrim.
You should have acted. They're already here.
Also,
I
ignore
missed that.
ignore the flashbang on my screen. It's because I took off my forced dark mode extension because it was messing with other stuff. Yeah,
Which version of Skyrim did you play? Which one
All
of the
of them.
40? Oh shit.
all of them.
Switch port.
I went through and relived every single era. No, I'm just kidding. I played mainly on my PlayStation because I already had a pretty decent save, and I hadn't played any of the DLCs yet, so I was trying to go through those. I only made it through like a little bit of one of them, but it's fine. It was cool. I had a good time.
Which DLC did you play?
I started the Dragonborn one.
Oh, okay, all right. Did you touch? I mean, it's technically a DLC, but like, did you mess with Hearthfire at all? It's the one where you can make your own house, essentially. wherever you
Oh
want.
yeah, I guess I did do that. Yeah, but I
I
I
mean,
had
it's
done that like
technically a
well
DLC, but
before.
it's more of like just extra. I don't know how to describe. It's not story
Yeah.
When,
content. So.
No, it's
when
kind of
you
like the
get
workshop stuff from Fallout, like where you get the
that
extra
was them
buildings.
testing that. Yes, yeah, that was the whole idea of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get to Dawnguard, think of the Serena. She's a good character.
Oh boy.
Good character.
Yes, she's a good character with good character traits.
You guys are gonna have a really
Don't
fun time with Cameron at this expo. He's gonna see like
He
somebody in a
already told
maid
us to
costume and he's
not
gonna
judge
piss
us about
himself.
his anime purchase.
Yeah, look, man,
We don't judge. No
you
judgment.
guys can look in the opposite, and it doesn't bother me any.
We listen and we don't judge. Sorry.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, but
Anyway,
yeah, I
Skyrim.
yeah, I played Skyrim. I'm probably not gonna say much about the idea behind the game because it came out 14 years ago, and if you haven't played it, you know someone who's played it. You've probably seen it. There's been plenty of references and memes made about it, and it's a pretty big game in a relatively large overall franchise.
Mhm.
Bethesda released it. They developed and published it. It's a sub company, but it's both Bethesda. Released November 11, 2011, and the only note I have is the systems that it released on are literally everything except mobile. Which to an extent is probably still wrong. Because I'm sure there's some weird ass like cloud emulation or cloud something or
You
other
can
that
Can you
absolutely cloud
play
stream it to your phone.
Can you play Skyrim on a Switch or a Wii?
Yeah,
Yes,
there was a
Yeah,
it was
Switch,
ported
yeah.
to the Switch.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All
It's
right.
terrible. That's why.
That's what I was wondering. So
Being said, though, there is a game that it was Elder Scrolls Blades, which is
Oh,
like the
Yeah, the
closest
mobile
thing to
game.
Skyrim
sure,
that you
yeah.
can get on
Yeah.
mobile.
There's a couple of them
Mm.
actually. There was one for flip phones way back in the day. Is that the one you're thinking of, or?
No, Blades is
This
it's
is
like a
newer.
fully fleshed out like it's a fully fleshed out like dungeon
Okay.
style Skyrim game.
I also
It's
know
even first person, yeah.
they also had a release not too long ago for mobile from the Elder Scrolls franchise that mirrored the Fallout Shelter style. Was it Elder Scrolls Castles, maybe?
Okay.
Oh. Wait, I'm looking this up now because I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Castles. Yep. Released in.
How
I'm
did
gonna
you build
hijack
your
Cameron's
character? How'd you
thing
build
for a
your
second.
character, Dalton? I'm kind of curious because typically I just go with warrior class and sword and board and just hack everything in front of me to pieces.
That's basically what I did as well. I've never been a big magic guy, and I've never been like a lot of people. The go-to build is like stealth archer, which I leaned into a little bit, but
I'm
not enough for it to like work for me because I didn't like follow a guide or like tailor my skills
yeah.
to actually
The
utilize a lot of the
That's the
benefits
big
from it.
problem with Skyrim with me, or a lot of games that follow Skyrim's like leveling style, where it's like you can do whatever you want, and whatever you do, you'll just get better at, instead of like dumping stats and forcing to use a specific build. I'm gonna go fisticuffs only, or I'm gonna use warhammers only. I'm gonna use dual axes only. I'm gonna be a mage only. 12 hours later, I'm stealth arching everything.
True, true son of Skyrim, right? Like just straight up warrior, sword and shield, and that's it. That's all I ever
See,
do.
the
All I ever did.
biggest twist that I took for stealth archer was I had a character that I think I played the more than any other character in Skyrim, like multiple hundreds of hours. Was a stealth archer, but I could only use armor and weapons that were conjured. Like I didn't carry physical things on me at all. I didn't carry any. I never looted physical items unless it was like jewels or something to sell. Like I never carried weapons on me. Everything I needed was like conjure bow, conjure armor. That was fun. It was genuinely fun.
So you
That
literally
sounds
took
fun.
the idea, yeah, you literally took the idea of a battle mage and was like, what if it was just battle, but with mage powers? Just-
What if what if I was a mage spy?
um, so you said that was you said that was your second time playing through, but you didn't play through any of the DLC like your prior times, prior time.
uh, no. So how I said that the last time I beat a video game was probably like 2 years ago. It
Mhm.
was that, and it was just it was like the main story, and then I came back to this character like literally 2 years later, and I was like, holy shit, I did so many things in this, and I have so much more that I could do. This is crazy. And then I kind of forgot what my build was. So then I went to do some like high level mission and then just got ripped. Um but no, so I've beat the main story one time through, and then I've done some of like the guild quests and some of the like I did the companions, I did the thieves guild. I think I had just started the Dark Brotherhood, but I didn't actually get into any of the actual meat of the missions.
If you would allow me to judge you real quick, you said you beat the gate, you beat the main story at one time.
Hmm.
What'd you do
Yeah.
with Parthenax
Uh, that's the dragon, right?
at the end? Yeah, did you kill him?
I'm pretty no, I think I left him alive.
Okay, cool. I'd have to like disown you as a human if you killed Parthenax.
Me over here having not finished Skyrim at all.
It's just- I've been
Me
trying to get her
over
to play
here,
Skyrim for a long time.
Yeah.
me over
I
here
just
being
end
my
up
typical.
going.
Go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say, I
No,
just
go
go around saying the words that blow everybody over. Fusra, whatever. What are those words?
Roda.
Jordah.
Yeah, Fusra.
Roda.
Fus Roda.
Everybody's like,
Fus.
Roda.
Yeah, but no, it was pretty fun. It was like a nice little like jumping back into a game that I took forever to beat because
Yeah.
obviously like I said, if the game came out in 2011 and I beat it for the first time in 2023, wasn't the first character I made. I
Hey,
probably
man.
made at least 2 dozen.
Hell yeah. Hey, year of second chances, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And then now I have it installed on my computer, which I'm also doing a fresh save on.
Don't fall into Nexus mods. It's a trap, dude. It's a trap.
It's crazy.
It's right.
It's
Once you
so
start
crazy.
once you start modding Bethesda games, period, on PC, that's your new hobby. It's not playing. You're like, I'm going to spend more hours modding this game, and largely the only game time that I will have is making sure the mods work, and then I will go
Yeah.
find more mods.
And then on top of that, it also makes it you cannot play the game any other way after that.
Yeah.
Because the mods actually add such in such an insane amount of content for you to enjoy. And there's so many like quality of life improvements and elements to the game that are improved upon so vastly that it
Mhm.
makes the game feel so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's good.
Of the faction you've been a part of so far, what one's your favorite?
I liked the companions a lot because I had seen clips of like werewolves in the game
Mm.
before, but I didn't know where they came from. And then I went into those quests and then I was like, oh God, oh no, oh wow, oh shit, this is happening. And then I just watched a
If
dude
you
fucking transform and maul a bunch of people. It was insane.
Yeah.
if you have the expansion, if you have the Dawn Guard expansion, you're gonna like
Mhm.
vampires as well. It's because like from the vanilla game, it's like vampires, but like with the DLC, it's like, oh, you're a vampire lord. Like
Right.
it is
Yeah,
Nice.
vastly different.
it's like in Oblivion. Base game vampires, it's cool to experience once to get like achievements and stuff like that, and to experience, that part of the game. But like base game shit as vampires in both games, it's just like you'll do the quests, you'll be a vampire, you'd be like, cool, I'm a vampire. I'm gonna do vampire-y shit. And then about the third or fourth day that you have to actually avoid the sun because you're taking like ridiculous amounts of damage, you go, okay, it's time to find the cure. Let's find the cure and never do this shit again.
I think that's I think my brother played that DLC. He was pretty into Skyrim, especially when it was like still new.
Mhm.
And I think he ended up like becoming a vampire, and
Right.
he actually seemed to really like it because he just did that. He was just a vampire mage, and that was like just what he did.
Oh, that's fucking sick. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you run into any wild bugs while you were playing? Some of them good
No.
old fashioned crispy Skyrim bugs.
I had one that was a quest where you have to collect like some plants, and they only show up in certain what's the name? Dwarven like
Okay.
relic structures, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about the Nern root?
I think
Like
so,
the red
yeah.
It
flowers? They're like,
it glows and like sings when you're
yeah.
near it.
Yeah, yeah. So, my quest is bugged out, and it says that I need a total of 30 plants, and
Mhm.
I currently have negative 16.
What?
I don't know what I did. Like, I'm sure it was probably just like I did the quests in a certain order where it like messed something up before I had started the quest, and so then I collected my first one, and then it
Yeah.
went, "You have negative 16 out of 30." And then I went, "How the fuck do I get the
Yeah.
number to go the other
There's a
way?"
couple that are like that. The other big one is help me with this, Cameron. They're the amulets of Azura, or it's the purple
Stones of
crystal.
Baron Zaya.
That,
There you go.
yes.
Yeah,
You have to
you
find
beat me
so many of
to it.
those hidden in the game, and it can do the same thing. I've seen that
Mhm.
glitch out on people before too.
That one I haven't had issues with. However, I've only found like 6 of the stones because I am not gonna look up a guide until I've finished a
Those
bunch of
ones
other
are
shit.
fucking hard because unlike the Nern root that sings to you and it's typically always near water, the stones of Benezia or Barons, whatever the fuck it is, aren't
Mhm.
fucking anywhere. It's on a shelf in a
Yeah.
fucking poor person's
They
house
don't
on a farm.
they don't
It
have any quest markers tied to them. I
Yeah,
literally have to
Yeah.
look
They're like
for 'em.
bobbleheads. They're like the
yeah,
bobbleheads
exactly.
in Fallout.
So, yeah. But, hell yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I was on my phone during my lunch break. My lunch break. Let's just go with that. And I was snooping through Discord, and I saw you playing Skyrim, and I was like, ooh, I kind of want to play Skyrim again.
It's contagious, dude.
It
So
really is.
Anytime that you see
it
someone
is.
playing it, you're just like, "Oh shit, that game does still exist."
Hell
That
yeah.
being said, apparently they're doing a remaster of Oblivion, and I'm
Oh,
super
Yeah.
excited for that.
Hell yeah.
I never played Oblivion.
It's
If you, I was gonna
it's
say if you
it's good. No, it's I'm trying to decide if it's as good or better than Skyrim is the problem.
it so in very different very different areas, Oblivion is better than Skyrim. Skyrim is
Yeah.
still way better than Oblivion, but with the
Um
remake, I don't know.
the Oblivion storyline is wildly superior to Skyrim.
I
That's
would
the main
However,
thing I've heard is that they
Oblivion,
improved upon like the engine and the gameplay with Skyrim,
mhm,
but the lore and the
yeah,
narrative density
the
is a lot
the
better in
skill
Oblivion.
trees and the build that you set up for yourself, you shoehorn yourself down a certain path in Oblivion because it's a lot closer to Morrowind where like, you set up what your character is going to be largely at the start of the game. And
Mhm.
then if you decide to switch your stats around, there are ways to do it, but it is a pain in the ass to get the stuff to, essentially do a stat reset. And if you don't do that, you're kind of, if you make a bad build from the start, you're kind of stuck with it for the most part. Um,
Right.
Just to
but
clarify, Oblivion is that game where the fan came from, the one that is
in
in
Starfield, yes,
Starfield. Yes.
yes. Um, Actually, when I brought home that CRT TV last year, the year before, the first one that I grabbed, you watched me speed run the entire arena quest line in like an hour and a half
Yeah.
to get him. But Oblivion is it's good. You should absolutely play it. I would highly suggest waiting though until the graphics are kind of janky at this point. There's some overhaul mods and stuff like that that you can find for it if you play it on PC. But with them doing a remaster, having a remaster in the works, I would just suggest waiting at this point. But yeah, no, Oblivion's the fuckiest thing that I ever did in Oblivion was there's a glitch where you can add, so there's helmet, arms or gloves, there's helmet, gauntlets, boots, and this is the first game where they put the Greaves and the Curious together as one piece. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's four pieces of armor. Shut up. Don't fucking judge me. There's 4 pieces of
No,
armor.
that's your check your
Look at
phone.
the group chat. Look at the group chat.
Motherfucker.
Concerned.
Fucking kid. Just got good character traits.
Character trait.
Character traits. But
We know what you mean. We know what you mean.
There's 4 pieces of armor, and with your necklace, there's 5. And you can enchant all those pieces. But you can only certain enchantments you can only do 24% of a thing per item. One of those things is invisibility. So, and it's because of the way the game engine works. I found a glitch where I got all 4 pieces of my armor plus my necklace to all 4 pieces of my armor to 25% invisibility, or to 24% invisibility, and then I was able to enchant the necklace with a remaining like fucking 4% invisibility for 100% invisibility. And when I don all of that armor, my character, it doesn't shimmer, it just completely disappears, and the game engine doesn't know what to do. The camera loses its tracking ability on the character. So when you go forward in third person, how the camera would, if this is the character and this is the camera, it'd follow you like this, right? And when you stop, it would stop. Because it can't track the character, it's guessing. So it would do this and I would stop, and the camera would flip under the map, start doing spins and shit. Oblivion is definitely still a Bethesda game. You should try it, dude. But yeah.
Anything else with Skyrim? I mean, it's a good game. It's been beaten with a stick
It
a
is.
lot.
It's such a dead horse in this.
It's been beaten with a stick, ran over by a truck, shot in the head with a gun.
But it's
Ran
still a
over
good
by a
game.
tank.
11.
Yeah, run over by tank, a good game.
It wouldn't surprise me if they released a special 15th anniversary edition next year. Or 2 years from now? 2 years from now. Or next year. Yeah, it'd be next year. 11/11/26.
Skyrim 2.0 +1.
It'd be pretty crazy if it did that.
Yeah.
Skyrim Anniversary Edition version 2.
You know, honestly, I'm gonna make a joke about it, but watch it actually happen. With the release of Oblivion, the remastered Oblivion, it'll come with a copy of Skyrim.
God damn it. Hi. Hi. Wait, come back.
Come here.
Come here.
Which one is it?
I have no idea.
Hi, Jinxie.
Hi, baby. Hello. You want to say hi?
Oh, it's a pup. Look
You
at the
wanna say hi
pup.
on the camera?
It's
Look
like
at the camera.
a drive-through pup window.
She is like leaning hard over this gate. Hi.
He says, I want my mama.
Oh no.
Don't jump in. Do not do
Oh
it.
no. All right. All right. Skyrim's done. Cool. All right.
Good game. Play it if you haven't. And I used to be an adventurer like you. Till I took an arrow in the knee. All right, that's all I got, folks.
Okay. Oh my god. Are you coming in? Come here. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come here. Come on.
She's over it.
Yeah, she's over it. It's all right. All right, moving on.
Would like to go next.
I'll go next.
Oh, you okay? You sure? You good? I can go next.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I vote you confident. There you go. All right.
All right, the game I played is called Coffee Talk. It was released in 2020 by Toge or Toge Productions, Toge. It was released a day later in Japan for some reason. So everybody in America got it before Japan, which seems backwards considering it's a 2-bit type game, very Japanese style. It is a nighttime coffee shop where you are the barista and the only worker and sole proprietor of this coffee shop. It is a graphic novel, and I was searching for something that wouldn't take up a whole lot of time, something relaxing and calming, and it is definitely that. It's over a 2-week period where you get to learn about different characters and stuff that come into the coffee shop. And the main character, other than you, obviously, is somebody named Freya. And she is a reporter for the newspaper that is in the storyline. And she is going behind her editor's back to write a book. And she has a short amount of time to do it. And she's chose to do it over the characters that have come into this coffee shop. It is very interesting. It's not just based in the human world. There is, what is it? Nekokimis? Nekokimis? How do you say that again?
Oh, cat girls?
Cat girls, yeah, essentially. Neko Mimi. That's how you say it. Neko girls is what they're also called. There's like a demon girl. What is it? A succubus. That's what they're called. There's succubuses, there's elves, there's a whole bunch of different fairy tale creatures and stuff. Werewolves, vampires. You name it, they probably have them in this storyline. Squid Girl. I don't even know what she was called. Do you remember what
Squid Girl.
Squid
No,
Girl.
I
She's
can
got.
picture it.
She comes in and her and the ogre end up dating. It's a whole thing. I love this. The story is awesome. I don't want to like spoil it because it's not a very long game and you can go through it relatively easy.
You can keep going.
Keep going. All right.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was looking it up for you. Oh, it's Aqua. Her name is Aqua.
Aqua. Okay, that makes sense. She's got tentacles going everywhere, and you can hear her squidge when she walks into the coffee shop.
Ew, I hate the word squid. That is
I'm not even
crazy.
joking. But
What a horrible word.
oh, so it's like little boxes that you read when the characters are talking back and forth in the game. The text kept changing in the game, and I'm kind of naive and not paying attention. I was trying to figure out why it got really, really big and then it got really, really small. It was just to express emotion and stuff from the characters because it's a 2-bit game. They're not really moving. They're not really doing much. Their facial expressions are stationary and staying that. They might every once in a while go like, "Oh," or like, or something like that. But that's about it.
I'd like to clarify. You keep saying 2-bit. I think what Sarah's referring to is it's like a 2D style game, but it's pixelated. It's like a 16 or a 32-bit type graphics.
Okay.
It is very exciting, very relaxing. I've completed the game in its entirety. I will say my favorite character is Neil. They did release a
Neil.
second one.
It just fucking occurred to me that Neil is an astronaut. Sorry.
Yes, he is.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong. Yeah.
Yes. That is why he chose that name.
Hours.
Or I should say that is why they chose that name. Coffee Talk 2, Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly was released on April 2023, which I will be playing eventually. You also get to make coffee drinks for everybody that comes into the coffee shop. That's my dog.
Look at the
And
pup.
the one thing I will say that I dislike about this game is I really suck at latte art. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my thing. I tried.
Latte art.
I'm turning the cup the wrong way and then I make the wrong design. I don't recommend that. But everything else is great.
So I played the first one. I played most of the second one. I absolutely love those games. Um, what is the actual like gameplay like? Like what is the steps of what you're doing in this game?
The steps to what
Just
you're doing. So it's a day by day. You just kind of start as the coffee shop opens. Freya comes in because she's a regular. That's where she does her newspaper writing / book writing. And it'll give you the dates. Certain amount of time will pass in between certain days, episodes, so to speak. And you just literally talk to people. You listen to people talk about their stories and their life and what's going on. And it is completely a read through process. Like, you get to make choices on coffee and different things happen as you make the coffee. Like, so they say they want this particular drink, but if you make it in the wrong pattern, they can get angry at you. Or if you make it the right pattern, they'll be really happy about it and
Yeah,
change.
it can change. It can
It
alter
can change
the
your story progression. So that's what I was going to say. I finished the game in its entirety, but on the menu, when you go into your game, there is a slider bar that'll tell you how much progress has been completed. So I had to look it up because the progress, you can go back and play through more of the game and take more choices. That progress bar will only fill up after you have made every single choice in the game. So,
okay. Okay. So you have certain ingredients to make the coffee, right? Like I don't
mhm.
remember all of them. But like you progress like as you progress through the story, you get more and more ingredients, right?
Yes. Yes. So you start out with just straight up coffee. She's complaining about a truck order that didn't come in at the beginning. And as it progresses through, the more and more ingredients come in. You end up with like coffee, green tea, regular tea, milk, honey, ginger, cinnamon, just basic ingredients and stuff like that. But you have a 3 ingredient based system for the coffee drinks or the tea drinks, and you put them in like chocolate is like dark chocolate, hot chocolate, or whatever. And then you have coffee, milk, which is a latte, or you have coffee, tea, milk, or there's so many different variations. And some people get really angry at you if you do not put it milk tea or tea milk tea. And they're like, this isn't what I ordered. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I just went off the ingredients you gave me.
Um so I typically when I'm playing games, music will take the background unless it's a game that is obviously music driven. Um that game has some of the best like lo-fi beats I've
Oh,
ever
dude.
listened to. I had that
Yes, it
It's
does.
like
cranked up.
it's like Lo-Fi Girl the game. It's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
During the
So
game, you have your phone that you can access, like the character's phone, not your phone, sorry, that you can access and change the different songs you're listening to. You can look up Facebook essentially and learn more about the characters that come into the shop and you're talking to. As you progress in your relationship with said characters, you can learn more about them on your phone than you talk about in the coffee shop. It's a lot of interesting things that are happening.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you mentioned that the sequel's coming out or has come out, correct?
Has come out 2023.
There's another one coming out, which is Coffee Talk Japan,
oh,
Tokyo.
I wouldn't
Coffee
Tokyo.
Talk
wasn't aware
Tokyo.
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am excited about that one.
Look that up
Uh,
real quick.
Yep, Coffee Talk Tokyo, and that is set for do 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 do. 2025. It just has a planned release date this year. So
Okay, well, I will be ordering that whenever that's available.
yeah. No, it's 2025.
20.
It's
Oh.
just a tentative date of 2025. They don't have anything on.
I thought I had read something where it had been postponed.
Oh, okay.
Don't hold me to that.
The official Steam page just says planned release date 25.
You planning on playing the second one, Sarah?
Oh yes, yeah, totally. I'm probably gonna play another game for the next episode first. Just because,
that's fine. Yeah.
yeah, it really caught my attention. But I am anxious to progress the story, especially after how different Neil came back in the end. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trailer is up for Tokyo, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool beans. Anything else?
Would you like to
I
go
don't.
next, John, if there's no
Yeah,
other questions?
Yeah, no, I can go next. Let's see. I played a game, and this is keeping in tune, I kind of realized accidentally, with the theme of A Year's Second Chances. Again, Cameron, you and I have been talking about the Metal Gear franchise quite a bit lately. I played Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes.
10 days ago, we got reports that Paz was still alive.
Now, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes was released originally in 2014 by Konami for the PS3, and I think later it came out on the Xbox 360. Because Metal Gear Solid 5 was the first game that came out on all platforms. It was no longer a PlayStation exclusive. Metal Gear Solid is and has been traditionally one of Sony's IPs. That being said, Ground Zeroes, more commonly nowadays referred to as Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, was released in 2014. It is an action stealth espionage game released by Konami, led by the famous Hideo Kojima, who, if you want to hear more about Kojima's mind, I don't even know what to call it, go back to episode 1 and listen to Dalton talk about Death Stranding. Yeah. But it was originally supposed to be the first chapter for Metal Gear Solid 5. However, due to Metal Gear Solid 5's extremely long development schedule, Kojima and Konami decided to cut the prologue and release it about a year before Metal Gear Solid 5 came out as sort of and this was controversial at the time, as a paid demo. The game was $30, but this was back when it was 2014. All games were either $60 because they were a full game, or they were $5 because they were a shitty arcade title. So this weird concept of a $30 minigame was not common back then, like it is now. You go on Steam, you find whole ass games for $20, $30, $40. Like there's all sorts of price framing for games now. This was one of the first ones to do this, and it got smacked hard for it. It was referred to as a paid demo, essentially. It is technically the first chapter of the Metal Gear Solid 5 story. However, you can go into the Metal Gear Solid 5 proper game without having played this and not really miss out on much. It kind of gets filled in through cutscenes and character dialogue and stuff like that. But you play as I believe Venom Snake in Ground Zeroes, who his name is changed to Punished Snake in 5 proper, but I believe it's Venom Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now, it is it's not a sequel to Peace Walker on the PlayStation Portable. I'm going to go into some weird shit because it's technically the middle of a franchise. So sorry, viewers, if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I promise you it's worth doing research on. For those of you that are excited to hear me talk about Metal Gear Solid, just buckle up. So you play as Venom Snake, infiltrating what is essentially Japan's version of our base, Guantanamo Bay, in Cuba. So you're in Cuba, and you are there to retrieve an asset by the name of Paz, who was a child that had befriended Snake in Peace Walker on the PlayStation Portable. I'm going to bring that up a couple times, and this is weird because the Metal Gear Solid franchise has released games over multiple different handhelds and consoles, and all of them are canon to the storyline. So if you want the proper storyline, you got to go out and buy 3 different fucking consoles. Or like I was telling Cameron, they have a Master Volume that's come out recently with a Master Volume Part 2 planned that has everything in one package. So you go into this Guantanamo Bay that is called Camp Omega, if I remember correctly. And you are there to retrieve Paz, who was taken by an enemy force and is being held captive for reasons of story that I won't go into. You do this through various different espionage or run and gun tactics. It's your choice, but the franchise traditionally punishes you pretty heavily for doing things like running up to somebody and shooting them in the face with their friends around. Metal Gear is traditionally a game where you have like no fucking health at all. If you get hit in the head by a moth too hard, you'll typically die. But what's unique about this is it takes place on one open world map. It's the opening to the first open world Metal Gear game. And because of this, you have one objective and you have one start point. And you have this huge map, and how you traverse that is up to you, which is, it's not unheard of in an open world game, but for a stealth game, it was brand new. You get like a set of binoculars that you can use to scope out targets at long range, and once you identify them and put them on the map, they kind of don't go away, so you can kind of track their movements. The trick is making sure you have all of the enemies, because there's nothing worse than sitting on a cliffside for 15 minutes and scoping out the base, and I'm serious. You will spend 15 minutes scoping out a single location in this game, and you're like, okay, I got everybody, and you'll go down and you'll sneak past this enemy and go around this enemy and get too close to this enemy, so you'll knock them out and hide the body, and then you go through a doorway and, well, there's 2 people that you completely missed and you're dead. So you essentially use different stealth tactics and tools at your disposal, like the binoculars, night vision goggles, silenced weapons, tranquilizer guns, to make your way to the objective and complete the objective. The way that they kind of took this one chapter, if you will, this one mission, and justified tacking a $30 price tag onto it, is there's a lot of replayability in it, not just in the open worldness aspect and like, oh, I went this way, but I want to go this way because I noticed I went this way last time, but I noticed the other side of the base has like a fucking tank and a dude on a Gatling cannon in a guard tower. Let's try and see if I can get through that and what kind of tactics I need to get through that. It's more than that. Every time you complete the game, this is a Japanese game, so you get a rank at the end of the mission, and it's I can't do it backwards. It's FED, CBA, and S rank. And if you S rank a mission, you unlock another side objective for another playthrough, or even another objective altogether on the same map. You also, every time you S rank something, you unlock a plethora of new weapons, from different silenced sidearms to heavy machine guns to rocket launchers that you can take into battle. Like I said, you can run and gun in this game. It's just a lot it's like playing, I was talking to Cameron, I explained Metal Gear run and gunning is like playing the Mile High Club achievement on Call of Duty all the time. It's fucking hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard. And they want you to have fun and try it, which is why they give you dumb shit like rocket launchers in a stealth game. But I mean, it's a Metal Gear game. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, I highly encourage anybody to look into it, because it is a wild experience. Kojima has, if you've listened to the first episode, Kojima has just the most confusing mind with his storytelling. And Death Stranding is an evolution of his storytelling from Metal Gear. So if you've played Death Stranding, you actually liked it, please, 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 please touch Metal Gear in some form. It doesn't matter what game. Just pick a game and start playing. But that's one last thing. Kojima's funny. He likes to be funny. From Metal Gear Solid 4, which is the last game proper that came out before Ground Zeroes, to Ground Zeroes, it was somewhere in the neighborhood like 6 years. And we're talking an era of gaming where the development time for AAA games was still 2 or 3 years. It was short. It was real short. So one of the first things that Snake does when he comes up over the cliffside with his NVGs on, and the dude in the chopper's talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, I kept you waiting, huh?" Like, he broke the fourth wall with it. They do it all the time in those games. They're great. In Metal Gear Solid 5 proper, at the start of the game, you have to escape a hospital that's under attack after some events that happen at the end of Ground Zeroes, and the person that's helping you is in a hospital gown. And they do dumb shit, like he pisses his pants for no fucking reason when he's hiding on the ground in a pile of dead bodies.
They zoom in on his butt.
They zoom in on his ass crack at one point through the fucking cut in the hospital gown. They just it doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's fun. It's a fun experience.
The other thing that throws me off is the sound that is made when like a bad person pops up. The whole like
and with the exclamation point. Yep.
With the exclamation point.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Sorry. But yeah, no. I want to compare it in one other way to Death Stranding, and then I'll open the floor for questions. Dalton, you played Cameron, you played Death Stranding, but Dalton, you reported on Death Stranding for the first episode and how and I'm sorry, this is for the visual viewers. Yeah, the storytelling is right at the start of Metal Gear Solid 5 proper. As you're going through the hospital, there's a dude in a straitjacket and a gas mask that floats around, sets shit on fire. Cool. And like literally just disappears into the ceiling. No idea yet. There's also a guy that follows him around that is just made of hell, is the only way I can describe it, because when you shoot him, the bullets just kind of disappear into his body, and then he releases all that energy at people. And a BMP. You guys know what a BMP is, like a Russian BMP. It's like the armored troop carrier that also has a pretty big fucking turret on top. Rams into him, fucking explodes, sends the BMP flying half a mile. So you're escaping on horseback with this dude just walking after you. And then he explodes into this huge fucking fireball, and you're like, well, I think he's out of sight. And then all of a sudden, this giant flaming whale comes through the sky and crashes onto the hospital and explodes into a flaming winged unicorn with that motherfucker riding it. And now you're being chased by that, and you are on the back of a horse who is being ridden by a Western, like a cowboy, who people who know Metal Gear Solid, it's Ocelot. In Metal Gear Solid 3 or Delta, as Cameron's going to play, it's Revolver Ocelot. In this one, it's Old Ocelot. I can't remember his title in this one, but he gives you a shotgun and says, shoot the bastard and keep him away from us. It's no different than the storytelling in Death Stranding. You have to completely remove your thought process and let Kojima tell you the story when he's ready to tell you the story. That's all I have for Metal Gear, for this one at least. So, questions?
So, is that your favorite Metal Gear? Because I started playing like the first one. No, okay.
3. Metal Gear Solid 3 is by far. Metal Gear Solid 3, which they are remaking as Delta. It is a full reimagining of the game. And there is a trailer out for it. Every single time I play it, and I don't think I've played it since I've been with you, Sarah, but every single time I play it, the game brings me to genuine tears. I sob towards the end of that game.
He's shown me, I think that's the scene you've shown me over and over again in the field.
It's with Snake in the field of white lilies.
Field, yeah.
Yeah, it's a field of white lilies, and then an event happens, and the lilies all turn red like cherry blossoms and float away with the wind. It's just... Kojima is a very cinematic mind. So, yeah, no. It's 3 by far, and I might report on 3 at some point, but I gotta work up the heart to play it again. I might just wait till Delta and experience that.
I was gonna say you should play Delta and then compare the Metal Gear Solid 3 to Delta.
Yeah. But like he likes to have a lot of fun with the games. Like I was playing 5 proper earlier today, which is Phantom Pain. And I unlocked I was talking to you a little bit, Cameron, about how the Metal Gear franchise, you can unlock different, like camos for your suits, and they actually have an impact as to how. If you wear like a green ghillie type suit inside of a white concrete building, you're gonna have 0% health. And the opposite, if you wear a white suit in a grass field, you're gonna have 0% health. You're gonna have 0% like stealth, right? Like, it helps to pick the right thing, the right tools for the job. I unlocked a tuxedo earlier in Metal Gear Solid 5, and I have no idea when the fuck I'm gonna use it, but I'm having fun with it. So
Maybe you're gonna have a party.
yeah, well, Sarah said 00 Snake, and I like that a lot.
Double O
So
Snake. How
Yeah.
about that?
yeah, any questions on Metal Gear?
His code
Whoa.
name is Snake Eyes.
I like it.
His code name is Snake Eyes.
So it's funny because the Metal Gear Solid 3, if you touch it, Cameron, the opening is very 007 like. They have a song called Snake Eater it's just ripped straight out of a 007 film. And what's funny is they wanted to find a point to play the entire song in the game. So there comes a point where you're climbing up a bunker. It's like you're going to a cliffside bunker. Think of like World War II, how they had like the giant concrete bunkers on Normandy that had machine guns that overlooked the cliffs. Yeah. So you're climbing an internal stairway up a cliffside to a pillbox, and it's long enough to play this entire 4-minute song. And yes, you have to hold up on the D-pad to climb the whole thing. So it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, that's what I got. I brought it because it was short. I never beat 5 proper, so that's my year second chances thing. Metal Gear Solid 5, the complete collection, or they have a name for it. It includes Ground Zeroes in it as the first chapter, but I'm still treating it as its own standalone game because that's what I experienced it as originally. So
as far as Metal Gear goes, I know I played a little bit of Phantom Pain, and this was before I really knew what Metal Gear like saga. What even is it now? It's like 6 games, right?
Oh, dude, I actually have the list in front of me. So every Metal Gear Solid, this is chronological order. Snake Eater, or Delta, the remake, Metal Gear Solid 3 is first in the series. This is canon. This is lore-wise, not release-wise. Portable Ops on the PSP is a second in line, followed by Peace Walker on the PSP, Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, which I am currently playing through, Metal Gear, which is the first game on the fucking MSX2, which nobody's going to know what the fuck that is listening to this unless you're like 60. It is essentially the Commodore 64 computer game or computer system of Japan. Followed by Solid Snake, which is Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, also released on the MSX2, released in 1990, by the way. Followed by Metal Gear Solid 3, or Metal Gear Solid 1, and then the Twin Snakes. Followed by Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, and then Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. So there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games, all of which are canon, no spin-offs.
Yeah, as far as I've played a little bit of Phantom Pain and Revenge. What's the title for the other one?
Revengeance, Metal Gear Rising: Revenge. That's the one where you play as Raiden with the sword. Yeah,
like the cybernetic ninja dude.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the franchise, like I was telling Cameron last week, is like you can jump in anywhere. Every game references what came before it, but nothing directly comes from. You start every game. You can start every game, and they treat you like you've never played a Metal Gear Solid or a Metal Gear game before. It's really nice. So you can look at a review or look at screenshots and just pick what appeals to you the most, and then through the dialogue and through the gameplay, you can go, "Oh, that's really cool. What are they talking about? That sounds like a really interesting situation that happened." Go look what game it came up from, and then you can like put the puzzle together as you go. They don't punish you for skipping around. It's really nice. Well, Cool. That's Metal Gear.
Cameron, the moment you've been
Anything
waiting
else?
for.
Yeah. Anything else before I dive into this madness?
No, go for it, man. I am so fucking stoked for your shit, dude.
This game, and I'm glad that I ended up buying it. Well, I bought it a long time ago and just never actually sat down to play it. So it is Fatum Betula.
Please
which
fucking
is
spell that, please.
it's Fatumbeula. It's
Okay.
it's Latin for fate birch, as in like a birch tree.
Okay.
So I took this is probably not going to show up very well. I actually took notes for this game.
Hell
It's
yeah.
it's like a paragraph long.
Nice.
So it was first included in it was in a compilation of horror games called the Haunted PS1 Demo Disc. And it was just it wasn't actually a disc, but it was a compilation of games that you could get digitally.
Okay.
By the look on John's face, I think you at least know of it.
I've heard of that, yeah.
But it was released in 2020 by an a solo indie dev, uh, Bryce Bucher, I believe is how you pronounce the last name. It is a open-ended puzzle game with low poly aesthetics. It has the environments are very liminal and surreal at some points in time, um, which I'll get into here in a second. But there are 10 different endings to this game, and I'll get into what they kind of mean here in a second. But I want to show you guys a picture. Well, actually, I want to read you guys a letter and then show you guys a picture. So you, as the character, spawn into this chapel, temple, for lack of better words, with a staircase in front of you and a door behind you. Your first instinct is to turn around and try the door. It's locked, so you go up the stairs. And you're met with this room where the tile of the chapel or temple stop, and it turns into like a cobblestone little walkway that leads out into this endless hallway that's like full of water. And that's it. The game doesn't really tell you anything. So you'll open up your inventory next, like that's the next logical step. And you have nothing on you but a note. And the note says, after you open it, the note says, "Some say the air itself has a face. It's true. The child once bore witness to its piercing eyes. Racked with grief, she traveled to the end of a narrow stone path atop a river, and pleaded with the cold to show itself. Sight, sight of nothing stole her gaze, and she waited still. A horrible row of teeth soon reflected her image, and she was gone." And that's it. So from that, you have to kind of discern. And this is a very story driven game. So you kind of have to like piece these things together and work your way through these puzzles. From that note, you have to discern that this temple you're in is the abyss that she wandered out onto. So that stone path that was mentioned in that note is the stone path that is directly in front of you in that temple. So you'll walk out onto it and you'll just stare down this endless black hallway, and you might turn around and try the door again at some point, but it won't do anything. You have to wait for 15, 20 seconds um, for this creature to show up. And I'm going to show you a picture of it because it's hard to describe. So I just sent that in the group chat. For the listeners, it it looks like a clam on its side, like where the clam would open up. It's a bunch of teeth. On either side of the clamshell are these giant, piercing red eyes. And this creature, it honestly, like I said prior to this, yeah, I looked at that thing and I backpedaled. Like, I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "What is this?" Because this thing comes out of the void. It just slowly approaches you. And, it basically tells you, "Hey, in this same room where this is all going on, if" yes, yeah, if you wanna show the viewers.
Oops. Sarah has autofocus turned on, so there you go.
So, yeah, that thing, slowly comes towards you, very terrifying. And it doesn't make any noises or anything, it just appears. Um, but one other thing that is in this room where this is all currently happening, if you look up, there is this small little patch of dirt with some grass on it, and a little, like, withering tree kinda hanging off the side of it, with its roots dipping down into the water, s going off into the abyss. This creature tells you that the world that you're currently in is like stasis. Nothing will change, will happen, no one will die, no one grows old, nothing stays unless you yourself cause that change. In order for change to happen, he gives you 3 glass vials. And he's like, "Hey, bring any sort of liquid that you can find and pour it into this water, and it will change the outlook of the future of both your land, like your current timeline, and the timeline of everyone else that this birch tree is connected to. It's like it's like two different dimensions. You're living here and people are living here and you're the one affecting both at the same time. He gives you one single warning. He says, "Do not feed it, let you bleed." And that's it. So with that information, the first thing you're going to do is leave. You have the vials and the door is now unlocked. You can leave. Um, outside of that beginning area, there hold on, lost my notes here. Outside of that beginning area, there are three technical paths that you can go down. One of them leads to a forest that is like all the leaves are like orange, so it's like autumn. The other one will lead you out to like a pagoda in the center of a lake. For lack of better words, it looks like like your stereotypical like Japanese dojo, but it's like a pagoda.
Okay.
And the third one will lead you up a little rocky path to they every one that I've because I was looking up information trying to get pinpoint accuracy here. Everyone calls it the beast, and it's just this little like cat dude. Um, and you'll talk to him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm starving. Do you have anything to eat?" You don't have any food, so you just kind of venture on elsewhere. Um, if you go to that pagoda area, there's a bed. Like if you cross, there's like a little walkway that leads to that pagoda. If you cross into that area, there's it looks like someone had been living there. There's a bookshelf, there's a painting, and there's a bed. If you interact with that bed, you fall asleep. You wake up in this hellish dream dimension, and I don't even know how to describe it. But there's a character there who's like his entire being is his head, and he has like two arms kind of connected to his head, and like guts hanging out of his neck. And he's asking you for a painting that you may or may not have seen. So nothing to do there. You'll wake up, and when you start walking back out of that area, there's a note pinned to a tree, um, basically saying, "If you're reading this, I'm dead. This tool once aided my research, and I hope it will do the same for you. Be warned, I fear the blade has become weak with age and may only have a few strikes left." So you get that note and you get the knife that was like pinning it to the tree. With that knife, you're like, "Oh, I can try to feed the birch tree blood." So you'll go back to the beast and kill him. You can take one of the glass vials and fill it with blood. When you go back to the birch tree and dump it in, that is one of the endings. Like I said, there's 10 endings to this game. And I don't want to give them all away because this game is it's something you need to experience. I will read the names of the endings and explain a little bit about them. So, uh, through 0 through secret ending, ending 0, nothing to worry about. Ending 1, parasites. Ending 2, murderers. 3, the cycle. 4, faith. 5, wounds. 6, beat it. 7, ever. 8, developed. 9, where do we go from here? And then secret ending. So with all that, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the gameplay because other than that, I'm getting into like spoiler territory, and I don't want to do
Mhm.
that. So you have 3 glass vials, and as you're doing these quests, these little side activities, you will get different liquids that you can pour in. Some of them you will have to mix and match. In front of where the beast was standing, there is a small little pond, I guess, that you can pour them into, and mixing certain ones will give you additional ones. Uh, that's about the entirety of the game mechanic, like the gameplay and everything. Now, where the game is interesting is that there are how do I want to explain this? Each ending is like how how the 2 dimensions are proceeded through time. Some of the endings aren't exactly true endings, and one of my favorite ones that I want to discuss is it's the secret ending,
Mhm.
and it's interesting because I if you've ever played an older like N64 game where you can kind of walk up the geometry and sometimes you can just kind of clip through it and you just see out into like nothingness. That's how this ending works. You need to find this specific area on the map, and it will cause you to fall out of bounds, like of the game world. And you end up in this like cubicle room with certain numbers around you, and those numbers tell you how to do these endings in proper order. But if you walk through the doorway in this room, there's oh I, there's like a computer. If I remember correctly, it's been a hot minute. There's a computer monitor that you can interact with, and when you interact with starts a like an actual like uh, recording from the game dev talking about making the game, uh, his ideas for like the different endings and like some of the stupider endings that he thought about putting in, but like
Mhm.
they're kind of scrapped. But it was just kind of interesting to hear the dev talk about his own game in the game itself. Um, One of the other ones that he talked about highly was the eighth ending, developed, and it's literally him talking about how the game itself is relatively low poly, and it's supposed to be like that. But when you get this ending, you end up with a tomato soup can as the liquid, and that can is like super high poly, like it looks like an actual can of tomato soup.
Right.
And he was just kind of like chuckling because it's just like he was like, "Oh yeah, this is like the only thing that actually has a poly count higher than like 32." So but the game was a blast to play through. I sat down and I beat I don't know I came with my own knowledge. I came through like endings oh 1, 3, 5, and 6 I think. I had to look the other ones up because I had no idea how to get them. but it's an interesting game. It's an interesting concept for a short and sweet little game. So that's about my 2 cents for it.
That sounds. I want to play that. That is like right up my alley, dude. Um, two things I wanna touch on. Um, you said the secret ending. He sits and he talks about stuff. Where there's my camera. He sits and he talks about stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to go into like as far as like getting over it with Ben Foddy territory, but I love when developers like monologue parts of their game. I love directors' commentary in movies, and I wish more games like just casually during the course of gameplay gave you some thought processes to what the creator was thinking when they made the game. So that's fucking awesome. Two, I actually looked up while you were talking the haunted PS1, and I am fascinated by this. I have heard about it, like you mentioned from my reaction. I didn't know how big of a thing it was. Have you looked into it at all?
I know there's one other game on there that I think I've played, and I actually think I've talked to you about it. But
Okay.
like as far as what it was like a competition, right? Like those games that
Yeah.
were on there were like all the winners of that competition.
So it was at first. Now it's currently hosted essentially by a gentleman by the name of, I'm going to ruin this, Briogan Hackett. He's clearly some sort of a foreign name, the first part at least. However, he does like compilation demo discs, like the old PlayStation 1 demo discs. And to date, they have released like 15 or so of them with over 300 games. With over like 300 games um, from 2020 to 2025. And I was looking through some of these games, and all of them would fit on the PlayStation 1. They're all made by it's like he hosts. Let me read the first part of this real quick. Haunted PS1 is a community of video game developers known for their compilations in collaboration with independent developers on the indie games website itch.io. Most notable releases demo discs are annual compilations of independent games from various genres influenced by the graphics and visual presentation of the PlayStation 1, as well as menus inspired by actual PlayStation 1 demo discs or other PlayStation games such as the Namco Museum releases on the platform. Demo Discs series received praise from several websites for their niche theme, variety of titles, and novel method of distribution, with a number of games from the releases receiving sufficient attention to lead to further development and commercial releases of their own content. This is fascinating to me. I didn't know that this existed, like still existed. So I am, because of this game, this is going to be the first one, but I'm going to have to dig through their library. And from the looks of it, they're all free to download on itch. So
Ooh,
that
okay, that
that's
I didn't
that
know. I'm gonna
that's
have to
cool
do
as
that.
shit. Don't hold me to it. There probably are some like one or two that like went on, like they said, in that to like further development and commercial release. But yeah, yeah, it looks like a lot of them like take direct inspiration. Like this one, I was looking at some screenshots while you were talking about it. It's really Silent Hilly. It's just like otherworldly horror and uneasiness is what they're going for. It looks like so. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out.
So other than that, I'm pretty much done unless you got questions about that game in particular.
I do not. I have some I want to ask, but I think I'd rather just experience the game at this point, actually.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody got anything? You
Go
ready to
play games.
you ready? Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
You ready to go play games?
Gotta hit him with it.
There's no
Um,
emails. I checked earlier. So
I will say if you're a fan listener and you're in Cleveland tomorrow at the Fan Expo and you see us walking around, Don't be afraid to say
weird off
hi.
chance that you recognize these faces, please say hi. That would be dope as shit.
That'd be
You would
awesome.
you would make my decade.
Well, we'll have to go back in time to see us since this is released after.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Well,
God,
that's
tonight.
true.
No, I'm
I'm
just
sorry, I
but,
pulled
hey, you
down the good mood, but
No.
we'll let you know
But,
any
hey, I
other
mean-
cons that we go to in the future, and you can. We'll be more than happy to talk to anybody. So
we'll be going to GalaxyCon and Torg Expo.
Can somebody just for
Fusion.
for my personal laughter get a picture of Cameron with like some crazy e-girl?
Yes,
absolutely, yeah.
100%, 1000%. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
You say you have me to do that when I'm already going to be doing that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, but
difficult.
I have to see it.
It's
it has to be
mostly
for
gonna
me.
be
Okay,
like
yes.
I will pick the craziest picture for you. How's that? Since
What
it's
about
already
Yeah.
what about a waifu pillow? They've got a lot of those there.
That's a good one too, yeah.
I
Weren't you
mean,
talking
the-
about getting
the-
a husbando pillow? or
Oh yeah,
something?
I fucking want
With
Tenet
Garrus
on a
it?
pillow. Let's
Or that
go.
one?
Or Tom Welling, reversible sides, whatever. I don't care. Let's go.
There we go. There we go.
All right. You want to roll the die, Cameron?
You should have
I
Doctor
don't
Who
have
sign your
one-
body pillow.
Would you like? Wait, what?
I have one
What?
next to me.
What
did you say, Dalton?
I said you should have Doctor Who sign your body pillow.
Oh yeah. If I can find one, that's not even going to be a
There we
question.
Oh, you got it. Okay, cool. Oh,
I'm gonna
right before we do that, I want to shout out something real quick. One of my customers on my route collects Hot Wheels. I'm not going to shout out his name or anything
Whoa.
like that, but he collects Hot Wheels. Like he always has Hot Wheels coming and going. He gave me this. He gifted me this last week. Hold on, I have
Here.
to get up here. No,
Here.
it's fine. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is a special edition. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, there you go. It is it's a limited edition mailed it custom Hot Wheel. That is a modified
Whoa.
LLV, and that is cool as shit. You can turn around to show the top and the sides and stuff. But yeah, I just want to shout that out. I thought that was cool as shit, and I've had that sitting on the shelf back here for the past week or so. So
That's pretty awesome.
that's my little closing statement. Yeah.
Um,
So.
rolled a and got 16 if that's still available.
Don't let me read it.
It is not. Roll again.
Roll again.
Please be 17. Please be 17.
10.
10. Indie games in the face of AAA or quadruple A. I'm tacking that on because that's a stupid new phrase going around.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
So
Okay.
indie games
Yeah,
in the
that's
face of
stupid.
essentially large scale developers. So let me embolden that so we know that that's next.
Any closing statements before we wrap this one up?
Metal Gear. Sorry, I had to.
Play Skyrim, you fucking old or young person that missed the wave.
Skyrim. Sorry, I have to stop. I was
Coffee
doing that for
talk.
that.
Go
There you go.
play it. It's not very long. You'll enjoy it.
Go get confused by MGS. Just do it. You'll be smarter for it, I guess. Your critical thinking skills will vastly improve because you'll spend so much time confused.
I'll also be angry.
That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, go like Dalton said. Go play games.
Go play games.
Oh, somebody needs to pick a host.
Oh shit! No, Cameron needs to pick host specifically, not some. Ooh.
I would pick Dalton because he played Skyrim and I like Elder Scrolls, but like Dalton was already the host, so.
But like Skyrim's been, released 32 times. Dalton's been the host 32 times,
Yeah.
so it's really.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick Sarah.
What can I say?
because her game is beautiful and I love Coffee Talk.
Your eyes popped out of your skull. That's so funny.
From the front perspective, I'm sure it looked like excitement. From the side perspective, it was terror.
You'll be okay.
I'll be
You'll
fine.
be okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You'll do great.
You did awesome this episode. That was kick ass. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Bye.
Go.
Bye.
Ah.
Go play games. Ah.
Dolk.